Hey everyone, and welcome back to GNN Gaming! Yes, I am not on my normal streaming schedule, and apparently my mic is not on its usual tightness. There we go. Hey, welcome back to GNN Gaming. I am your host this evening, Retro, coming to you live right here from my little gaming hovel. I want to thank everybody who's on my stream and comes on the future. Watch this whether you're on watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or if you happen to catch any of our content on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or on our website at geeknewsnow.net. Tonight, I thought I would do a special stream of something that was kind of, I thought, silly, Halloween-related. This is a very silly Sonic the Hedgehog game, but it's a lot of fun. It's called Sonic Unleashed, and it's kind of ridiculous. But it's I think it's appropriate to do. So this is gonna be fun. I don't know what's going on. My whole gamer tag thing is being weird. Hey GV, welcome in. Welcome onto the channel. It's almost like the opening to Star Wars. You got the pan up from the planet. The starships come into view. Yes, this is Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes, just watch. It's ridiculous, but it's also a lot of fun. Supersonic. So, in the original Sonic the Hedgehog games, the first couple ones on the Sega, there are these Chaos Emeralds that you collect in bonus stages, and if you get all of the Chaos Emeralds, he becomes Supersonic. Which is what you see here. So this is actually like Sonic the Hedgehog canon as far as like he does become this flying gold Sonic the Hedgehog when he gets the Chaos Emeralds.
Sonic! I'm sorry. Really, look, go easy on me. I'll turn over a new leaf, I swear. Just give me a chance.
Well, this is new. Showing remorse, Eggman? If you played nice, I wouldn't have to break all your toys.
Gotcha.
What?
This is all the entire game's plot right here. This whole very long opening cutscene is the game's plot.
Time for this.
No plot there at all.
Within the planet has awakened. Now I just need to harness its power. Eggman Land will finally come to be.
I like how that's his greatest ambition, Eggman Land.
You've really gone and done it this time, Eggman.
Ah, Sonic, that's a good look for you. Festive. So long, friend.
Just launch a WEREHOG into the vacuum of space, where apparently you can scream. Yeah! So... that's the plot. Oh, you're not supposed to be able to. Yeah, unless you're a WEREHOG. Or lasers. If you're lasers out of a spaceship, that you can hear those.
Hey, are you okay?
Let me shake you violently, just in case.
Hey, pull yourself together. Huh? Don't eat me. I taste bad. You okay? Nothing broken?
Oh, I'm just fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Monster Guy.
Mr. Monster Guy? Looks like things have gotten pretty ugly.
Yeah, look at those teeth and those claws. What's your name, anyway?
I'm Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog. And you are?
Huh? What is my name? Ah, I don't know. I can't
Yeah, it's
remember.
pretty dry here, actually. We're kind of out of our main rainy season right now,
Yup.
down here.
I remember something falling from the sky, and everything just going all white. And then nothing. I can't remember a thing past that.
Did I fall on him?
Oh man, what am I gonna do? What can I do? Where do I go from here? What'll I...
Well, I guess it wouldn't be any kind of video game without a really annoying
I'll help
sidekick.
you get your memory back.
Really? You mean it?
Absolutely.
Wow.
We'll find
The
somebody who knows
graphics of
who
his
to look
fur
for.
look terrible.
Oh, thank you. You're
This game did not age as well as I remember it.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
So this game has two different modes basically to it. So during the daylight levels, he's a regular hedgehog. And then during the nighttime levels, he transforms into a werehog until basically the world is fixed, is more or less the plot.
Here we go!
Hang on. My controller's acting up. 1 second. Because I'm not actually controlling him right now. Give me 1 second. Hang on a sec. Okay. Something about my controller was, I don't know, it was being weird. Like, it desynced itself to my,
Here we
Oh, thank you.
go!
It, like, desynced itself to my Xbox. I don't know what was up with that.
Go!
These controls are very touchy. Ah! I don't know what's up with my controller. It's being weird. 1 second. Okay, so I think I know what the problem was. So my Xbox was in a different room, and I had a cable connecting, and I think it was thinking that my controller was too far away from the console, so it was like desyncing everything, which is weird because it doesn't normally do that. But whatever, I moved it closer. Watched an interesting documentary on video games, and they talked about the creation of Sonic. Yeah, Sonic was... there was a lot with Sonic that went into Sonic that was, I think, very unique and very special. But I mean, it's the game that put Sega on the map. I could see that. I mean, it makes sense when you look at like the layout and level design.
Sega.
Hey, Connie. So how are you guys doing tonight? Cool, cool. Good.
Here we go!
The whole homing attack thing is kind of ridiculous, I think. I did not want to hit that. The levels also tend to be like a lot shorter too. With like the 3D Sonic games, a lot of them tend to be much. Oh. They all happen in bursts. It's absolutely ludicrous. Like the premise is crazy silly.
What do you figure that was all about? The hair and those eyes and look at the Chaos Emeralds.
But I figure, you know, since he becomes a werehog, it's Halloween appropriate.
Usually look like?
We also have a new channel reward on there. For 100 points, you can make me eat a random piece of candy.
Huh? Where'd you go?
I have a bucket of candy, of chocolate. So we have that as a reward point on the channel now. Same for Wolf Angel if you catch her stream when she's on. Not in the bucket, no. There are bad candies, but not. I did not stock bad candies.
Hey! What about your memories?
Chocolate chip sundae supreme.
You said it. Enjoy it, kiddo. Satisfaction guaranteed. If you don't love it, you get your money back.
Hey!
Oh, I love it.
You know, we're just gonna. Yes, this is the one with the WereSonic. Hi, Cam. I'm gonna skip past these cutscenes because they're ludicrous. And for some reason now I can walk around and talk to people. Yeah, I don't like candy corn. Don't have any candy corn. No, what's in there is little snack bags of Skittles, Hershey bars, little snack-sized Hershey bars, and Reese cups. You want me to eat 3 candies all at the same time? Why do you hate me? This stream will see him go to ketoacidosis. The cameras are doing some crazy stuff in this. It is very hard to navigate. Yeah, it's extremely sensitive, and it has a constantly changing camera angle. And I will get to that piece of candy here in a moment. Ah! Yeah, I hate the way he yells. Whoa! Ah! Whoa! So what were your guys' thoughts on the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, if you saw it? So, I'm actually a big fan. Oh, come on. It's really pretty good. It's better than I thought it would be. I'm excited for the sequel. I think it's gonna be really good. I think Jim Carrey was a really good Dr. Robotnik. I think he nailed the core of the character in a lot of ways. I was so happy they redesigned Sonic, and James Marsters was really good in it. And it had its moments that were really, really funny. No. Nope. Canonically, he's Robotnik. Eggman was a mean nickname that Sonic gave him because he was egg-shaped. So, alright, Connie redeemed for me to do a piece of candy. He wants me to eat all 3 pieces of candy at the same time, but I am not mixing Skittles, Hershey's, and Reese's. That's just... I hate you, Connie. Alright, here's the thing. Alright, you know what? Fine. We'll do it. We'll do it. Right here on stream. This is content for you people! We're gonna clip this and put this on the channel. Alright. Alright, so we got this stuff. Skittles there. Hey, Lego Vader. So, to catch you up, in case you missed it, Connie has been, Connie Presents has been, redeemed the new channel reward point of making me eat a piece of candy out of the bucket. And, I have 3 types of candy, and he has redeemed it so that I am eating... So that I'm eating all 3. So that's, let's see, Skittles... Reese's. Can't believe I'm gonna do this. And a Hershey bar. Surprisingly, not bad. Believe it or not, the Skittles and all that chocolate and peanut butter mixed together gives you this sweet and tangy kind of mixture. It wasn't terrible, it was just a lot to chew. Ugh. I do not have any Tootsie Rolls. Hey Medic, I have Hershey bars, I have Reese cups, and I have Skittles. Reese's, lemon heads, and black licorice. I don't like lemon heads, and I certainly don't like black licorice, so that's right out.
Still no luck finding anyone who knows me.
Don't worry about it. Maybe your memory will come back on its own. Remember anything yet?
Nope.
Oh well.
Sonic? Whoa. Mr. Monster Guy is back.
Kind of, yeah. A little bit. Man, he's so much slower when he's the werehog. I guess maybe that's the trade-off. Super strength instead of super speed. Did you eat something funny? Well, funny you ask that. In fact, I did. Alright, here we go. First nighttime level is Sonic. As Were Sonic. Yeah. Ah, Tails. It is confirmed that the next Sonic the Hedgehog movie will have Tails and Knuckles, and Idris Elba is going to be voicing Knuckles. Let's just destroy everything, because, you know, why not? Is he also voicing Tails? That would be ridiculous if he was. Yeah, I don't know if he will or not. I mean, at the end of the Sonic movie, you know, Sonic is living with him, so nice town. Don't mind if I destroy it. Yeah, I don't know if James Marsters is going to be in the new one or not. Or I guess it should be in the sequel. I'm gonna kind of agree and kind of disagree with you there. Detective Pikachu was amazing. And when it comes to Pokemon, the video game came before the anime. So I guess you could technically call that a video game-based movie. Well, it did a lot of things right, but one of the things it didn't try to do was give us an origin story. And what it didn't try to do was talk down to the audience in any way. It operated under the assumption that you were probably a Pokemon fan, because why else would you see a movie called Detective Pikachu unless you were just watching it with your kids? But I think as a film, it was really well done. You can't... I mean, you got Ryan Reynolds voicing Pikachu, which was pretty amazing. I think the newest Mortal Kombat movie, while not a great movie, is the most faithful video game movie I've ever seen. And I have a theory on that. Hear me out. It was absolute garbage. I'm going to start off by saying it was not a great movie. Yes, faithful. And here's why. There are scenes in the newest Mortal Kombat movie where the fighters sustain... I'm getting there. Hang on. There were scenes in the Mortal Kombat movie where the fighters sustain serious bodily harm, and in the next scene are literally okay. Case in point, early in the movie, Kano takes a Bowie knife to the thigh, stands up on that leg with the knife still in it, pulls the Bowie knife out, and then proceeds to use it and carry on through the rest of the movie like he didn't just get a 6-inch stab wound. Okay? Sonya Blade, later on, gets stabbed by Melina with a sai through her shoulder, pinning her to the ground. The sai gets yanked out. Literally in the next scene, not only is that arm usable, it has stopped bleeding. Now tell me, what is more faithful to Mortal Kombat than the characters sustaining major bodily harm and then being perfectly fine for the next fight? They did make Goro into a throw-off, but that's what I'm getting at, is they literally completely trivialized all combat. Come on. Come on, grab it. Oh. Oh, that's just ridiculous. But that's what I mean by faithful, is that, like, it's exactly true to how it is in... It's more faithful to that than the 90s one is. And I'm actually a big fan of the 90s Mortal Kombat, because I'm a huge fan of a lot of the very campy martial arts films that came out during that era, because that was also the era of, like, the Ninja Turtle movies, which were campy and ridiculous. It was the era of Double Dragon. It was the era of a lot of those. Mario Brothers was faithful. Not even... Yeah, well. So, No, it was not. It was a terrible movie, and I'm acknowledging that the Mortal Kombat film was bad. And you had so much source material that there was no reason at all for it to be as bad as it was. Man, these controls are jank. And one of the things I think that bothered me the most about the Mortal Kombat film was they really underutilized an amazing actor. The actor who plays Scorpion. in the new Mortal Kombat movie is Hiroyuki Sanada is an amazing actor. He speaks several languages. He's extremely talented martial artist. He's a dancer. He's a horseback rider. He did all of his own fight scenes and stunts in his like late 50s in that movie, and they severely underutilized his talent. Hiroyuki Sanada he's the Japanese character actor that you cast when you need an amazing character actor that's Japanese and can also do everything. Like, he doesn't need a stunt double. He doesn't need anything other than literally something to go after. He's trained in several styles of martial arts, to the rank of master. Speaks English fluently, speaks French, Japanese, and a couple other languages fluently. Award-winning ballroom dancer. He's the guy, and he's just a great actor. He does a great serious face. You know, he was in Last Samurai. He was doing Twilight Samurai. Yep. He was in The Wolverine. But yeah, he does all of his fight scenes, all of his own stunts. And I mean, he's up there in age with, you know, guys like Jet Li and Donnie Yen. And it's like, you cast him as literally one of the greatest characters in Mortal Kombat. You give him an amazing opening scene, and his opening fight sequence in that film was the best fight scene in the entire movie. Yep, he was the Yakuza boss that Ronin takes out in Avengers Endgame. Yep, the one where they're fighting in the street just before Black Widow approaches Ronin. Yeah, Hiroyuki Sanada is... He's on my list of people I would love to just meet and, like, buy dinner. You know? And it's also rare anymore to find somebody that can faithfully perform true ninjutsu. It's an old martial arts style, and there's a lot of tradition to it that just isn't taught anymore outside of actual dojos in Japan, but even so, it's still only taught recreationally. So to find somebody that can faithfully do it the way he does is extremely rare in martial arts. It's kind of like finding a legit samurai. You have people who've studied it, but people who fully understand it is a whole different thing. And in that fight scene that he did in the first part of Mortal Kombat with the kunai on the rope, basically the rope dart fight scene, that is literally one of the hardest martial arts weapons to master, is the rope dart. So like I said, they severely underutilized an amazing actor in that film, nerfed him after basically the rest of it. And it's like... And then they gave us a character, yeah, that wasn't even Mortal Kombat canon, that somehow takes out Goro, who is like the champion of the 9 realms in Mortal Kombat. So, I don't know. No, it was not a great movie. There has not been a great video game adaptation, but I will say there are some that have come close. The Sonic the Hedgehog movie was better than any of us hoped it could be. And here's what I'll tell you what I respect most about it. The studio listened and spent a lot of money to fix their mistake with Sonic. Granted, they were more or less cyberbullied into it. But still, they didn't have to listen to us. They delayed production, spent millions of dollars fixing it, because they listen to the fans. Now, if they had done it right to begin with, they wouldn't have had to do that. But I can respect somebody that at least listened to the fans enough to spend the money, delay the movie, do the reshoots, and fix so that their fans are happy. There are video game companies that don't give us that courtesy. In fact, very few people give their fans that level of courtesy. So you know what? I'll cut the Sonic... no worries. I will cut the Sonic the Hedgehog movie a little bit of slack for that. I like how, like, I'm just, like, destroying the town, and everybody's just like, nope, it's fine. We're just gonna let the WEREHOG do it. It's good. It's good. Yeah, go ahead, Vader. It's fine to go lurk mode. I appreciate you letting me know. But I mean, you got to think there's got to be a reason video game movies don't work. And I think it really is as simple as video games anymore, especially if your average adventure game is 70 plus hours of gameplay minimum. I mean, Final Fantasy X, when it came out over 20 years ago for the PlayStation 2, was over 70 hours of gameplay. It's hard to get a good story based in this world the fans have come to love and explore, spend days worth of time exploring. It's hard to get that in a hour and a half movie and still capture that same thing. So it's, how do you do that without it feeling rushed? How do you do that without it feeling forced? You know, that would be like if you made a Legend of Zelda movie, but you did it literally one dungeon at a time per movie. And that's why you have, that's why the Witcher TV series works. It's episodic. You know, you're not trying to cram an entire game into an hour and a half movie. And the stuff that happened in the Witcher series was all based on stuff from either the books or the games. I'm a big fan of The Witcher. The games are fantastic. I thought about playing them on stream, but there's some very mature content in it that I don't think would be appropriate for this channel. But it's a great series. It's kind of for the same reason I would love to do Bayonetta, but for the same reason, it's not really a game that is the most family appropriate for a stream. But Bayonetta 3 is coming, and I am excited. Ah, come on. It's this weird, like, the drop button and the re-grab button are, like, it doesn't make a lot of control sense how they have it. The controls of this are very, very strange. A little bit, because you're always at this, like, weird, like, 40-degree angle. Ah!
Sonic!
Alright, GVs, thanks for hanging out, buddy. Yeah, I don't really know how long I'm going to play tonight. I didn't get to do my stream last night. I had some stuff I had to take care of, and I was like, I really want to stream out. I was going to do a game called Clock Tower. But I'll be honest with you, that game, I've never beaten it. And it's one of the few games that I have played that spikes my anxiety. And I had forgotten how much it spiked my anxiety until I started to play it, because I haven't played it in a long time. And I was like, okay, maybe it's not going to bother me as much now. But, literally, I was watching video of it being played, and I almost went into a panic attack. It was, like, it just something about, there's several elements to it that are very, uncomfortable. And just make my anxiety really bad. So I was like, yeah, we're not going to do that, because the last thing people need is to see me completely lose my mind on camera. And I'll tell you what it is, because I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I'll tell you what it is. In the game, you are inside of a mansion. And, you're alone. And the only audio there is the entire time is the sound of your character's shoes on the tiles. So this click-clack as you're walking of her heels. And if you hear music, it's because you're literally about to die. And how you die is you're being chased by a very small man dressed like a butler with a pair of scissors that are gigantic. And you will find the people you came to this mansion with, you will find them dead. And that part doesn't bother me. That's fine. It's the audio that is, like, bothersome. Just no audio, no sound, no nothing at all, except just click, 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 the whole time. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, like, boss level music. And the danger isn't, like, necessarily apparent right off the bat. My favorite horror game. My favorite horror game is a game a lot of people have. No, it's not my favorite. But it is the one that makes me the most uncomfortable. My favorite horror game. I don't know why my voice just broke there. My favorite horror game is one that came out. It's an old Windows 97 game called Seventh Guess. And it was this, you know, you're being, you get called out, you get called to go out to this mansion, you and a bunch of people who don't know each other. And all for, like, the reading of some inheritance will. And you're the seventh one to arrive, and people are dying, and you're trying to investigate, like, what's happening and why. And so it's all puzzles, and really challenging ones too. Come on, stand up. And I actually have a working copy of it still. It's been a website basically made it forwards compatible so that you can play it on a Windows 10 PC. But yeah, it's an old Windows 97 game. And it's hard. It is a hard game. But what's cool about it is it's... what was the defining moment of your time playing the game? What do you mean? Like, when did I know it was my favorite? Or, like, what do you mean by that? I think what stands out to me most about the game is it was done during the era of gaming where cutscenes in games were filmed with actual actors. So you had live action cutscenes in an otherwise digital game, which was a big deal because CGI wasn't at all what it is today back then. So you had everything. So you had actual actors acting everything out. And I just remember, like, having to investigate each of the hotel rooms and trying to find clues about the people. You had to, like, put all of the details together. And the puzzles were challenging. They were not, like, just, oh, you know, put this piece here. It was... And you weren't really given instructions. Part of the puzzles were figuring out how to solve the puzzle. Man. So I think what I remember most is a combination of the live-action actors, cutscenes, combined with some of the hardest puzzles I've ever done in a game. And I think it's one of those where if they ever faithfully remade it, and I mean not add a bunch of stuff or dumb it down, I mean faithfully remade it, including live action cutscenes, I think by today's standards it would still hold up as a very good game that would still age well, I guess, as it were. But I don't play a lot of horror games, and I'll tell you why. What most games count as horror, I call gore porn, and it's just slaughter and mayhem for the sake of slaughter and mayhem and blood. That doesn't do anything for me. That doesn't scare me. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't do it. It's just okay, whatever. I'm very numb to it. For me, what stands out, what's scary to me, what I consider scary, is psychological. And that's why Clock Tower gets to me, is psychologically it is unsettling. You know, if you want to scare me, don't show me graphic depictions or gory scenes. Give me something that is unsettling to the senses. Sounds and visuals that are, like, uncomfortable. Not gory. If like, the difference is understood. Like, Saw does nothing for me. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Resident Evil is up there as far as creep factor. There's a lot of things that are unsettling about it. Another game I thought about doing tonight instead of this was Bloodrayne. If anybody's played or remember Bloodrayne. But it's good old, you know, woman born a vampire, killing other vampires kind of deal. Very much the Blade concept, but sexier. And I know, how do you get sexier than Wesley Snipes, but that's the concept of Bloodrayne, if you've ever heard of it. Oh, and they're all Nazis. That's the other thing. Your World War II era. That is called Clock Tower. It was originally released for the Super Famicom in Japan and Europe, and it was re-released in the States on the PlayStation 1. But it's just called Clock Tower. You can find gameplay of it. You can find people speedrunning it. It also had multiple endings, and in most of the endings, you died. It was still the ending, but yeah, you died. There were only a couple good... There was only one or two actual endings where you somehow survived. Man. Get up! Ugh! I don't know, this might be the end of this of this game. We might go on to something happy. Yeah, if you want to play a English version of Clock Tower, you can get ROMs that have been translated into English, but it was never released on the Super Nintendo in the US that I'm aware of. It wasn't released in the US until it came out on the PlayStation 1. But you can play a translated basically the European version of the game, but most people play the Japanese still, if you're going to actually play the cartridge. For two reasons. One, for speedrunning, most games are done in Japanese, because Japanese text displays faster than English text. So if you watch speedruns, you'll see people typically are running... If they're not running it in Japanese, there's usually a very good reason, but almost every game gets run in Japanese. For speedrunning. But also, the game itself is, like I said, the game itself was not released in the United States. Oh, I need to focus on this part. He's healing himself. That's not fair. Alright, we're gonna give this one more go. Alright. Well, that was fun while it lasted. We're gonna leave this, and we're gonna play something else, I guess. because that stopped being fun pretty quick. Let's see. I've got 206 games installed. I'll pick something. Let's do something like really bizarrely random. Let's do something super random. Yeah, you're talking about horror. Layers of Fear, messed up. That's a psychological one. It's another one that I just is uncomfortable to play. Let's see here. What can I play on stream? That's you know what? We'll do this. We'll still do Sonic the Hedgehog, but we'll do a different Sonic game. This was actually a decent Sonic game. It's going to give me the same warning. It's doing this weird thing with my Xbox Live account where it's not letting me save. I need to go in and figure out if it desynced itself or what. So, I don't know. I think I know what it is. I think, because this is an old Xbox Live account, I think it's just not active. So we'll just not mess with it. I'll fix it later. For what we're doing, it's fine. If you've never seen Sonic Generations, it's a mix. It's this beautiful mix between old school and new school Sonic. And like what happens is like the two worlds get like connected. Like it implies that there's like a Sonic multiverse. So the 3D Sonic with the long legs and everything that you just saw me playing, and the two-dimensional smaller Sonic, they exist in parallel universes. And that gets basically crossed over. And so you end up playing levels as both. And you play them the same level in different styles. And it's actually a lot of fun. And this one's actually like critically acclaimed by fans. People love this. And it's one of the... I'll be honest, it's one of the few Sonic games that's like modern Sonic games that's really good. Yeah. Come on. It's just very pleasant to look at. I'm gonna see if it'll let me skip past all of this. It may not.
something?
Surprise!
Aw, you guys.
It's kind of impossible to surprise you.
You totally got me this time. I had no idea.
Yeah, right. Happy birthday, Sonic. Hope you like this.
Like it? I love it. What?
Sonic, what's that? What's it doing?
Hey! Not cool!
Help us! Sonic!
So more or less, the two Sonics end up outside of time, and each of their worlds becomes this frozen in time thing. So in order to free the worlds, you have to beat each world as 2D and 3D Sonic. It's much easier to control this Sonic than the last one.
Press the A button after jumping to launch a homing attack that zeroes in on enemies. Hold down the X button for a boost of speed. Once the boost gauge on the lower left is empty, you can no longer use boost. Defeat enemies or collect rings to refill the boost gauge. Press the B button to slide under obstacles. Use the left stick to leap between the left and right rails while fighting.
Ah. And this is essentially the same level we just played as 2D Sonic, which is pretty cool.
Thanks, Sonic. I thought I was dead, floating without a body in a black limbo. Ugh. I'm gonna have nightmares for weeks.
Is it me, or is that place we were just in awfully familiar?
Not to me. This place looks like something sucked all the life and color out of it. Totally strange.
No stranger than rescuing genies in magic books or saving aliens in an interstellar amusement park. I'm more concerned about finding our friends.
I like that self-aware.
I saw something over there in the distance, like buildings, but they look weird.
That might be a good place to check out. I'll be back soon.
Wow, you weren't kidding when you said soon. I thought you already left.
What's funny is this Sonic doesn't talk because the original Sonic didn't talk. So it's a wonderfully self-aware Sonic the Hedgehog game. So now we have basically the chemical zone, which we'll do as both Sonics. Music here is dope too. It's awesome. Ah! Get back up there! To me, the chemical plant levels were always, like, the hardest. Because they're not, like, you can't usually go as fast as you can in, like, other levels. It requires, there's more platforming to them. And so, like, you get used to going really fast and stuff, and then suddenly you can't. I also like that there's always multiple levels, like ways to get through a level. It's not just like one solution. I've always liked that about Sonic levels. At least the old school style like this. Ah! There we go. That's a cool shot. Woo! Not bad, just slow.
Sonic!
Tails!
This chemical plant feels familiar. I'd never forget a smell like this. And that pink water makes me really nervous for some reason.
You're right, Tails. This place is giving me deja vu all over again.
Now for the 2D version. Ah. This is a very dangerous spot to be in. It's very satisfying to play, though. Alright, so I've got about an hour and a half. I think I'm going to go ahead and finish my stream here. I want to thank everybody who's been on and been chatting with me. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. This has been fun. I will be back tomorrow night with Kingdom Hearts tomorrow night. And be sure to catch Wolf Angel streaming Dead by Daylight tomorrow afternoon. Check our schedule for more. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Take care and be safe. Bye, guys.
Mr. Sea